people who would like to see a G2 win here on map 2, Des?
I think we do.
Yeah, we do. We've got a lot of cheers for G2. So let's...
I love how you get like Citizen get a single kill and you guys are like, yeah! And then Liquid will kill like 3 and you're like, yeah.
Well, let's have some more of that. Let's see if that energy can carry G2 to a map 2 and into that final decider. It's going to be Team Liquid versus G2 on Clubhouse. The bans coming in. We've got Hibana and Maverick, so no surprises there. Those hatches are going to be super sick.
Well, for the longest time, we didn't really see double hard breach bans. That should often be a must ban. And here you've got both being taken away. So a lot of Ace, a lot of Thermite coming in, not forgetting that we'll also likely see some hard breach gadgets coming out along the way as well. Wamai also coming in from G2, Liquid into their last ban for the defensive one. A Valkyrie maybe, because G2 did enjoy running that. No, it's going to be the Kaid. So Thatcher can be brought along, but maybe not to as much effect as he would be if something like that was still on the board.
No, absolutely. I think... like you said, the interesting thing now is going to be that hard breach. I think you automatically think towards, right, Thermite. Yes, we're going to see a little bit of that, but we're going to see that hard breach gadget as well. We're going to potentially see it leaning into maybe the odd zero pick, you know, where you're getting that utility of the cameras, but you're also getting the hard breach gadget to be able to assist in opening those hatches, because, of course, Ace is a little bit weak on the hatches. It takes 2 Selma charges. I can be. It takes 2 Selma charges for 1 hatch. It can only open the one. The other is going to be a partial. So for the time being, it is a Thermite and it is an Ace being brought along, Prano and Virtue, but we'll see if that switches up as we go.
Alrighty. Always love a start downstairs in the basement and seeing what damage can be done out on the roam, because Paolo and Nesk, I'm looking at you, coming along on the Malusi and on the Jaeger. They're the 2 that you'll want to see off-site causing chaos around the map. We've seen a couple of teams, like I think Astralis is a wonderful example of it doesn't seem to matter what map they go onto, they'll make use of all 3 floors of a map in their own game and really try and press the attackers and keep them guessing as to what is coming. Whether or not they could opt to go for that full 3-story setup or not, I doubt they will, because they haven't got a mute on side, but you may just see them trying to waste a bit of time upstairs and then slowly work your way down, especially given G2 have not been fantastic with drone work today.
Paolo heading back to the mid floor and all the way back down to the basement, so he's going to likely be playing down there. A lot of Liquid are actually on that bottom floor, so we're maybe not going to see too much of a top floor presence from them. G2 going to have a little bit of freedom maybe to get themselves in. Paolo at the minute is the lone presence away from site. He's going to be holding top of main stairs. He's got Ask in support as well now, so it could be double trouble as they try to get G2 into the kitchen, but for the time being, they're focusing on that top floor.
Absolutely, no surprises at all. That's where you have to put some pressure in. Last thing you want is to be shot in the back as you're trying to think about and execute inside of the site. Resets, brace with the C4, ideally not chucking it at that time as you've got a couple of players rotating back down the main stairs. But 45 seconds in, much of Liquid working their way back down to the site. And now the question really comes to G2 is how fast can you realise this and get yourself started on the basement?
I think they'll be absolutely fine with that part. The roam clearance, as I said on Theme Park, wasn't really the problem for G2. It's that stage 3. When we look at attack stairs, we're looking at 3 stages. Stage 1 is going to be droning and clearing out the map. Stage 2 is getting yourself that utility clearance. It's getting yourself access into site, so it's your breaching process. And then stage 3 is that final execution. Going in, getting site control, getting the diffuser down. Stage 1 and 2, not the end of the world for G2. It's that final execution that we're looking for. This is rapid play from them, Des. 1 minute 30 and they are opening hatches. We often see another 40 seconds before that happens for teams. So G2 going very well so far.
Making good progress, but I've seen teams do this before where they have so much time to get set up. They open all the hatches, then they send 3 people down kitchen hatch and die without any cover coming in from Moto, any cover coming in from Dirt, and it all just falls apart. So you do need 2 or 3 things to line up here as the attackers on Clubhouse in order for it to work really well. Doki's already dropped in, by the way. He's got himself back for free. What about the man behind? He flicks and finds Nets. Finally gets shut down, but that's a massive 2K from the Scotsman.
Prano going in for the plant. He's got himself down the kitchen hatch. 50 seconds. Alamau finds the kill on the cover. Resets manages to get the trade, but it's too late. The plant is down. Citizen finds Parlu, and G2 are looking electric in round number 1. Resets. He's got it all to do. 1v3 shut down. by Citizen, and that's going to be round 1 to G2.
Much better as well. Identifying an opportunity. Doki seeing, okay, I can drop and get the kill here. Yes, I'm going to be at risk from the guy who sat just on the other side of the boiler, but gets the kill on Ask, who's laid down by mannequins, turns around and gets the second, and sure, he dies for it, but by then, you've done the damage. You've cleared the man that was stopping the kitchen drop coming through, and Prano, like clockwork, drops in, holds down F, and they get the round win. Beautiful stuff from G2.
It was absolutely fantastic. Everything about that attack felt right. You know, the timing, everything, the way they work together as a team, and that's been one of my concerns for G2. That's what I said. I want to see that better team interplay, and Doki just, you know, rolling back there, just getting straight down, getting those kills, and that's what we expect out of him, is that explosive play. So round number 2, we're going to see Liquid moving away. They're going up to CCTV and Cash, and to be honest, I wouldn't be fancying going for a defensive Church and Arsenal after that round either.
No, a bit of a step away, although they're one of the things that they'll no doubt, they'll write down a little post-it note, stick it in the back pocket and go, right, next time we're back there, we'll course correct. We won't let Doki get away with that kind of magic again. Up here on this top floor, though, this to me, again, is one of the go-to sites in Siege. Like, everyone who plays Siege knows this site. It's changed a little bit in terms of how it's played, especially with attacker repeat rolling in, but what you'll find is G2 want to get this east breach opened up. They can then go down one of two paths. They can look to try and push in through garage with the support of that east breach, or instead go towards construction side, open that up, and look to put some pressure on red stairs from below at the same time. But generally most rounds will always start out the same way, which is exactly why you've got Palu sat right on this wall with the bandit charged in hand, ready for some denial.
It's going to be Ask up on the catwalk. It's a position that Nesk used to play historically and was very good from there, but as I say, that's switched around. It's going to be Ask on the Oryx, so we'll see how he holds on to that. Of course, we know how important that garage catwalk is. We're going to have Palu just doing a little bit of playing around with the bandit tricking on that wall, and Prano's just having to sit back for the time being. As you say, they need to maybe get somebody in underneath, but Nesk was playing around that area. He's just, as you can see, holding himself back in. I think he's on the stock door at the minute, looking in towards lounge, so they're going to have to be very careful if they want Alamo to go in and clear Palu out.
They need this down. Oh, he's down in the basement actually, yeah, so not even on stock, but do they know is the big question, is he down there? Here, they should be able to get some of these off the wall. Doki's in, nade in hand. The question is, when does that man that's down inside the blue make his move? A nade coming up onto the wall, and now they should try and get this wall opened up. Thermite goes off, easy as 1, 2, 3 is it.
Not too bad at all. Now the next job comes along, which is clearing Ask away from the catwalk. They need to get this moved, and then they can keep somebody on the east breach. The rest of the force goes in through garage, and they look for that plant next to the bomb chassis in behind the servers. But they need to be very aware of what's going on underneath, because right now I don't feel like Nesk has been picked up, and he could be a problem. Well, he's just holding on those blue stairs at the minute. There you go. That was the drone that you needed, G2. Great informational game, and now they are aware they've got Nesk underneath and that he's a problem, but I love that from Nesk. He knows he's been spotted. That's a signal that I'm going to play my life here. You are not moving me, and he's going to put his ADS down to make sure that he can't get naded. Alamo
also getting picked out by resets there, down about 25 HP, far from the end of the world, but worth noting as Ask gets flashed out. Alamo is in underneath, but very mindful, I think, of the support that's coming in from lobby. Almost finds one into the man poking his head out of storage, and Ask challenging onto this door as well. You can see that the war for garage is starting, working his way up the stairs. Alamo gets the opener, and this is the control that G2 were looking for.
Alamo continues his push along catwalk. He's trying to get aggressive in towards site. He's going to open that up, and that is the path now cleared. G2, they have their beachhead, they have their position to build from, and they can start to look forward. Nesk has taken a lot of damage. Resets, manages to find Virtue elsewhere in the map, but this is an opportunity now. G2, 20 seconds left to go. You've got to think about moving and getting that diffuser inside of sight. The utility continues raining on in. PSK, top of red, could be important. Palu taking a lot of damage, but he finds it. Prano goes in. He's getting the diffuser down though. There's an Alamo. He's gone deep. He's going to find the kill with the skeleton key. And G2 look like they might take this, but
no.
The diffuser was down.
Prano got killed out, yeah, and then that's kind of scramble and try and get back in, but the damage was done. Liquid found the down there with only 2 seconds left on the clock, and G2 at the last second crumble. But we speak about this a lot, Tim. It's all about the clock. They found that running low a lot on Theme Park. It's happened again here. Prano, where does he die? Oh, less than 1 second on the plant as well. So unfortunate. But Liquid playing it well. They always had resets dancing around the main door. They had players downstairs around storage. Just always with something up their back pockets to catch G2 off guard.
Oh, that's going to sting if you are a G2 player. It was very, very close. Liquid going to take us back down then to Church and Arsenal in round number 3. We saw this, of course, as the first round, and it was extremely well played by G2. A great execute from them. I would imagine we will see more of the same from Team Liquid. I think they need more of a presence out in the map, Des.
Well, Tim.
Just gave up the top 2 floors to G2. It gave them all the time they needed, and they utilised that time very well. So for me, Team Liquid, you've just learnt the lesson effectively. Round 1, you give them a ton of time, G2 do a great execute and win the round. Round 2, you burn them down to 20 seconds, and then they get in, and they don't manage to get the diffuser down, and it all falls apart a bit. You've got to burn the time here.
They've been rubbing that crystal ball on your noggin, I think, Tim, because they've read into your mind there, and that's exactly what they've gone for. The Mute and the Mozzie coming along just screams, get out around the map, roam on the top floor, slow the attackers down, with a little bit of help coming in as well from the Valk. But G2 are saying, look, go as complicated as you like, because we fancy a rush. There is no other reason why you'd have Alamau, and I know that this operator makes a certain sound when that rush kicks off.
Certainly does, and I'll be waiting for it, Des. I'll be waiting for it, as will everybody else. Alamau, he's just relocated himself for the time being. The push comes in, and that's a great entry from Doki once again. He is looking dangerous here on Clubhouse. He's going to take down Reset. That's the mirror gone. No, the Mozzie gone. Sorry, he's watching the mirror of PSK. He's just feeding a bit of information. PSK gets 1, can't get 2, as it's Doki again going in and just being that spearhead. Prano, he's getting the diffuser down. Alamau on the blitz, manages to find Ask. It's a 4v2, and the diffuser is planted.
2 plants in 3 rounds. They're looking on fire right now. Ness winning the 1 versus 1, but Doki awakened on this map. He's 5 and 2, gets a 3K in the round, and G2 with 2 thunderous attacks so far.
Looking good on the attack, that much is for sure. That Church and Arsenal, they have got it down. 2 different attacks though, let's note that. They've come in sort of different approaches there. This opening kill there, Doki getting resets, really set them up for it, and then the pressure. This is the thing, if Doki doesn't push in aggressively enough there, PSK probably gets both kills, but he was right on top of him. You don't mind losing that first man, so long as you get the trade. If you've already got the entry, you can do that all round long. Let him have a kill, so long as you trade it out every time, you're going to win, and G2 did 2-1.
Looking good so far, and I know speaking to the players across the event, we catch them in the hotel lobby every now and then, have a bit of a conversation, and they were saying, you know, look, we've got loads of plans, loads of executes we haven't really had the chance to use so far in EUL. We've been saving it for this event, and I feel like we've just seen a couple of those come out, both in the first round and in the third. The third one, much more of a team effort. For Liquid though, let's not take away from them. Again, their map pick, second half will be a different story, no doubt. They'll have their own plans in mind to make use of attacker repick to bring along the more optimal setup for when they want to push in. And I do want to touch on that last round really quickly, because what we saw was Citizen bringing along the Thatcher. You're probably saying, well, why bring a Thatcher? You're not trying to open things, you're just charging in towards site. It's again, in case there are things blocking their path, they can just chuck the MP down, charge their way through without really much concern. Cameras get disabled, mute jammers get disabled, Mozzie pests. They basically won't be hindered when they have that Thatcher on site. It's more again of an insurance choice.
Well, the thing is as well, let's look at the problems that G2 have had. It's generally when they've been low on time. And Thatcher just speeds things up.
Yep.
It just prevents that 30 seconds of having to get round the back, drop a nade in, clear a wall out. It can just literally do it at the push of a button. So Thatcher will definitely be a positive for G2. They're going to be attacking onto Gym and Bedroom now. Then Ask, he's got a dirty little angle here from the garage stairs.
That's gross.
Just watching out towards the rooftop through that garage door and hoping to pick somebody up, but he's going to take a few shots as the bullets are peppered in through that soft wall.
I don't know if Doki was just going in blind there. Now they've got the pings coming in. Oh, and Ask has been found out. Virtue finding him in no time at all, getting a little bit cheeky inside the lower garage there and pays the price for it.
Great opener once again from G2, absolutely dominating the entry here. 4 rounds, 4 kills, and they are coming into every round strong. Citizen, the wall is open in front of him into construction, so again, it's good progress here. Resets is still inside of Cash, which could be a little problem for them, but he's going to get himself stuck if he's not careful, because as he moves into construction, he's got to be aware that wall is open, and as you see, he's being drawn from everywhere. Nade goes in, it's not going to get the kill, does a tickle the damage to PSK, but nothing that's going to make him move out of the bathroom. Doki moves onto that construction window though, and there could be an opportunity for him here.
I think they want to try and pincer in here as well. Doki on one side, Citizen on the other. That team play that was missing back on Theme Park could come alight here. Resets, almost finding the angle, but one is distracted. In comes Citizen, not ADS against Ness, but in comes a drop. Alamau, massive 2K from inside of Logistics. PSK tries to get the kill, but Virtue finds it first. G2 are up 3-1, Tim.
And I know I said we had some G2 fans here, but that is becoming very evident now. As every round goes down, you guys just get louder and louder because the excitement is there. And I know we all want to see a map 3 here. We want to see these two teams really pushing it to the limit. And G2 right now are looking phenomenal on this clubhouse attack.
And I think Liquid know it as well. Calling in the tactical timeout after 4 rounds. Doesn't quite beat the record we had from, I want to say it was Astralis against BDS.
Yeah, round 1.
They had 1 round on Cafe, had 3 of them jumping out of a window. Rafal killed all 3, like, right, time out, boys. We're calm down.
And it didn't go much better after that either.
No, they did get round 2, but then it was still a 7-2 overall to BDS, who of course we get to see play later. Both of those teams, Astralis against XSET, Oxygen coming up against BDS, Team 1 against DarkZero. Oh, what a day of games.
It really is stacked. That much is for sure. You want to be careful, Des. We've got a North American audience. You don't want to be reminding them of the 7-2 to Astralis too much.
Absolutely not, but I'm sure they'll be cheering when we get towards the end of the day.
It's been all cheers so far. I don't want us getting booed before the day.
Well, the thing is, I know it's one of those classic like R6 events moments, right, where everyone's been like, 4 North American teams, this is our major, it's going to go far. You just don't know until the games are done and dusted which way this one's really going to end up, so time will tell. But obviously, no NA team here means, at least for now, you retain all 4. Up we go then to Cash and CC, which we last saw back in round 2 and was Liquid's only victory on this map so far.
It was indeed. We'll see whether they can lock it down again. It was just a time factor for G2 more than anything. I think Prano got in there and started to get the diffuser down. But when he was killed, there was just not really enough of a reaction, enough of an adjustment that could be made to make sure that it actually went down and the time was extended. Alamau very nearly did it for them, charging in through sight and just looking for kills, and I think Alamau definitely deserves a shout in this game so far. 7-2 and absolutely flying. Bringing the frags is not something we've always seen him consistently doing for G2. It's not necessarily what he's there to do, but he really is bringing it.
This is the kind of dream that I think everyone had when they saw this G2 lineup coming together, right? Doki's 5-2, Citizens 5-1, Alamau is 7-2. This was when everyone looked at it and went, you've got Doki and Citizen on the entry, you've got Alamau being this strong midfield for them, then Virtue and Prano, the masterminds behind the operation. This does feel like one of the first times we've really seen it sing compared to what we've not just seen at this competition, but also back in the UL. And let's not forget, this is still a new team. They've only had 1 stage together, but you are starting to see those pieces come together, but it's got to be consistent.
I'd agree, and they're very, very exciting and enjoyable to watch so far here on Clubhouse. Much better from G2, Des. If you remember last time around, it took them about 1.5 minutes to get that wall open. This time, 40 seconds, because guess who's in the lineup? Thatcher makes it a lot quicker. They haven't had to get underneath, and that has been recognised by G2. We're struggling for time, bring the Thatcher, speed ourselves up.
Well, Liquid haven't even bothered bringing along a Mute or a Bandit and said, look, that wall is open.
You just don't need to bother with it.
It's going to be open, so just forget about it, give them the wall, let's try and bring some other utility that helps. Now, questions to ask there around whether Ask on the Alibi is the go-to utility that you need, but you do still have those Yokai. So I think Liquid here, putting their eggs in the stall basket, let's try and slow G2 down and rely on those Yokais later into the round to help with some denial.
Doki was just having a good search around there, I think concerned that there could be a Yokai drone and not sure whether he was sort of anonymous inside of construction or whether he'd been spotted out or not. Palu just trying to play with that as close to the entrance as he can to see if there's any progress being made towards lower garage. He can feed that information into his catwalk player, then resets, interestingly, out in the map.
I will give it to G2 as well. Drone control this game so far, much better. They were down to like 2 or 3 most rounds on Theme Park. They've just lost 1 here, so they've gone down to 6 rather than 7. But they have a lot more utility out in the map and are actively using it. Look now, Prano, Citizen, both on drones. Alamau also joining them. They are taking that time to pause here and make sure they're scoping out what they're doing rather than trying to walk in blind. Much better.
Doki's gotten himself onto the CCTV window now. There is an alibi decoy in behind there. Yellow Pink's coming in to tell him that the catwalk player is getting aggressive forward. He's going to be able to take out that utility. Knows that there's barbed wire as well now, so has the explosive grenades in hand to be able to deal with that as well. I'm going to sit on the drones for a moment, though, and just make sure at this final stage, exactly that. They're getting ready for that final execute. I'm just a little bit concerned that with 30 seconds left to go, there could be a possibility of us seeing that problem again with time. They haven't cleared catwalk out there. As soon as Doki goes in through this window, should he choose to do so, he's going to be challenged immediately. They have to deal with Ask.
They haven't bothered with Garage at all here yet. In he comes and Doki goes down. Ask with the opener as the rest of the team start their move in. They've got control of Cash. They've got 3 kills. There's a Claymore kill coming in as well. Palu finding something but getting put down. Citizen back on his feet. G2 in a 4 versus 1.
Getting the diffuser down now, Prano, just to extend that time. It's all up to Ness from Catwalk. We've seen him do it before. 1v3, 1v2. Surely not Ness. The plant has been successful. G2 can sit back a little bit now, but they are playing against one of the best. But that doesn't matter to them as Virtue gets that final kill. And that's going to be G2, not only with a successful plant, but with a successful round in CCTV and catch 4-1.
That is honestly unbelievable as a turnaround from what we saw on the previous map. But Tim, I think everyone, us, me, you, everyone here, their hairs were on end then once Ness found that second kill.
Were they? Were your hairs on end?
I guess.
I think they might have been.
Let's take a second there to go, were they?
Were they? They had to have a little thing.
They were just a little bit, like you just see, you know he can pull off those kind of 4v1s as well, or the 1v4s. I was nervous for a second, but G2, they're not letting them slip today.
If you remember, before the first CCTV round, I commented that Nesk used to play Catwalk. He was the Catwalk player, but now Aska's been playing it and doing a great job of it. But that's why I picked up on it, because I thought if there's an opportunity for Ness to work his way back in from that Catwalk, I have seen him do it so many times. 1v3, 1v4, it looks like the round's done, and Ness just wins it from the Catwalk. So when those first 2 kills went down, I was thinking, oh, we could be on for something special.
More of a kiddie walk than a catwalk, given the damage he did in that round, Tim. Claw's not quite sharp enough yet to pull off a 1 versus 4, but still plenty of time, both here and potentially on Cafe if we keep going. I was curious if G2 will pull off a little bit of cheese. Smell that, Tim? I'm smelling an Otter and a Yin coming out. This looks like another one of those rounds where they'll be trying something a little bit crazy, a little bit out there. Last time it was the Blitz. Liquid by now, surely, after being hit by 2 of these air quotes rush rounds, should be prepared for what's about to come, though it's very easy to say, yeah, just be prepared for an Otter and a Yin, right?
Be prepared, Des. Just be prepared.
Just forehead, be prepared.
Are you prepared?
Hello?
Just click forward. Just click the head. What's the problem?
Exactly.
I think we're about to see what the problem could be. Parlu, top of main stairs. He's been very quiet so far on the Clubhouse Gamers. Parlu, 0 and 5, struggling to get himself into things. We've seen him in this position a couple of times. It's been a bit ineffectual, really. G2 have just bypassed it a lot of the time or forced him back down the stairs. G2 just getting themselves ready for the time being. First minute is going by. The drones are out. Still 10 left alive, Des. As you've said, much better on that drone efficiency.
Yeah, literally way better. It's night and day, I think, in many areas of this game so far. In terms of the team play, in terms of the fragging capability, but I said it coming in as well, this map does enable for that. It's a much simpler map. It's again quite checklisty, as many would refer to it as, i.e. get control of this, open that up, clear away this utility, execute. It's not that difficult to play, I don't think, overall. Teams more often than not run out when it comes to time, or if you've got some really wacky stuff being done by the defenders, then your checklist is out the window. You've got to adapt on the fly. Nowhere near as big a map as Theme Park either. Look at that reverse angle as well. Reset's just hoping that Alamau is going to step back across it as he's moving his way through the entirety of the first floor here on the buck again. G2 being very good with the clock.
Citizen being even better with the kills, though. He's going to get the opener onto PSK. Next, will find the trade. That's just going to put a little bit of a pause on things.
Hey! Oh.
That's going to put a little bit of a pause on things for G2, as it was a little bit of a catalyst. It was getting them started, but now they're just going to take a step back, take a breath. They've got 1 minute 15 left to go. They really don't need to be throwing everything at this just yet. They can keep building, they can keep the patience, keep clearing the utility.
Absolutely. They're ticking down to this point now where Palu's also a bullet away from death. He's 0 and 5, Tim. Not been his game at all. The smoke's offline, those C4s in back pocket. You're kind of almost relying entirely on the Yokai to do some work for you here, and I wouldn't be surprised if G2 have got rid of at least one of them on the way through. Hatch still close, though, in the last 45 seconds. G2 do need to start thinking about where this execution is going to come from. By the looks of it, down main stairs is Alamau slowly working his way down here, testing out the waters, seeing if there are any challenges. The answer so far is no.
Well, they've no option to open the kitchen hatch now. All they've got left is one Selma. They can open it partially, but they can't do anything more. I think it's been deployed elsewhere. It has. It's gone on to the Ash Rush spot, so it's looking like they're going to try something here, Des. Out comes the Candela, but no, Ness perfectly positioned to get the kill onto Doki as he tries to get down that hatch, but Prano, he's got the shield down. He's got an opportunity to make a plant here. This is G2 really trying to make something happen. It's all down to the cover, but no, the kill comes in. Virtue 1v4 shut down by Ash, and that is going to be Team Liquid getting themselves back into things. 2-4 at the half.
Looking better for sure. And I think in that round, G2, once they realized they couldn't get the kitchen hatch opened up, it was okay, boys, what do we do? And that Salma was definitely not intended to go there in the whole strat. It was a nice idea. It got them through the wall and in the spot to be able to get a plant down, but simply didn't have the cover. Started to sweat a little bit for Liquid on that side as well, because I thought, man, you're out of impacts. You've got no way of getting rid of the shield. It could have been disastrous, but Liquid hold on and at least get 2 rounds.
Looking at the entry game there on that first half, there's 5-1 to G2.
Yep.
Really commanding the early rounds, and that is consistent with what we've seen on Theme Park as well. G2 great through that first half, and this time being able to find that final execution, that delivery at the end of the round as well. They're going to switch on to defense now. There's a bit of me that's just, I really want to see G2 get out into the map here. Don't let Liquid settle down. They've been doing so well at getting aggressive in the early round, taking those entry kills and staying on top of Team Liquid, but I want them to continue it. Don't take your foot off the gas. We'll see if that's the setup for Church and Arsenal.
This is where you start to feel nervous, right? Because again, attacker repick has given attackers a lot of creativity and ability to swing things in their favor quite aggressively. You know, don't be shocked if Liquid find themselves 2-3 rounds on the bounce here and G2 are left gasping for air as potentially Liquid could take the series 2-0. Forever the pessimist, Tim, or call it a realist if you really want to. At least out on the roam for G2 is Alamau starting things off on the Valkyrie. C4 in hand, looking to maybe get cheeky onto the window if someone dares try and peek their way through. But looking at all those, all the outlines throughout the map, Tim, Liquid are quite scattered right now, completely around the map. A couple out towards Strip. You've got one up inside construction, one up on the CC wall platform as well, looking to work their way forwards, but you know, they can still make this work. They've got to get this top floor cleared out first and foremost.
Power breach is going to go onto the wall. Thatcher EMP is going to enable that to be open despite the mute jammer, so that is going to be Liquid being able to make a little bit of progress from the east side, and Virtue decides enough's enough. I'm not going to be sticking around too long up there. He's going to drop the hatch back into bar and work his way back towards the waiting Alamau on main stairs. So still out in the map here, G2, to a degree. Not as aggressive as some teams that we see. And Alamau nearly losing his life. Not aware that Palu had got in there so quickly on the sledge. And that was a real opportunity for Team Liquid.
I wonder if they heard the C4. It's just been pulled. I was going to say, I wonder if they heard the C4 get thrown and therefore started to look for it. So I think Alamau's pulled it just preemptively there, just in case. You'd rather it go off than not in this case. Didn't find anyone, but on the off chance it did, never a bad call. Still 5 versus 5 then halfway through the round, looking for Alamau to get back alive. G2 are all back on site, so for Liquid, same point to them again. Now that it's clear, it's on you to notice that and start making things happen.
Corno's just going to be cycling through those camps, trying to get whatever information G2 can here, but they've still got half of the round to go, and playing from inside the side not going to be easy. It's something that they were able to take advantage of, was being given that time, and Liquid will certainly be looking to do the same. A little bit limited in terms of hard breach utility here, Liquid. They've got one left on the book, and they've got the Selmas, so the Hatchers could be a little bit of a problem for them. It could be a sticking point. They may have to make their choices as to exactly what they're going to open. Palu continuing to open that floor above the heads of the defenders, but right now G2 feeling fairly comfortable inside a side.
They're not too phased yet, but they have been forced away, right? Now the backside of Arsenal's completely clear because of the verticals. Alamau, you can't forget, is quite low. Virtue, you don't want to get Doki'd here, my man. You don't want to drop it through the hatch, of course, in trouble. So Doki stepping across to give some support. Ask a little bit of a whip here coming in, but out comes the skeleton key, making some skeletons of his own. 2 kills coming in, 3 versus 2 for Liquid. They find another, resets 2 huge kills inside of blue. Citizen, Nesk had his chance at a 1vx. Is this yours?
He's all for turn to do now. He's got the red pings, he's got the information, he takes the shot, he misses though. He's trying to step round, he's on the Malusi, he's got the weapon in hand to be able to do this. He gets one. That's the down. It's a 1v2, he switches to the pistol. Can he find another at the boxes? He's dancing around in circles, but surely not. They know exactly where he is, and Resets is able to find that final kill, and Team Liquid successful on their first basement attack.
Dare I say there, red ping's working a little bit against Citizen, because the problem is when the red ping comes out, of course, it doesn't move with the individual. It knows where they were, and he expected to be stepping across a little bit slower, swung a bit too far wide in that 1 versus 1 gunfight. I'll give it to Resets though. Big round from him. Those 2 kills to make it 3 actually coming out with that final one coming in onto Citizen as well. Liquid keep the game going.
Certainly alive is this one with Team Liquid getting that round. G2 going to be not desperate for a round here, but You just feel like they really want this. If they can get themselves 5-3 and just keep that little bit of breathing space, it's going to mean an awful lot to them. They're going to be going up to gym and bedroom to try to do so. We're likely to see them reinforcing on. We've got Alamo on the mirror, so we'll probably see the bathroom mirror with the half wall opened up so that he can peek out onto Jacuzzi should it get opened. Which side is he going to play it? Alamo's having a little think about it there.
I saw him doing.
But you could hear the hesitation from me because I thought, Alamo, that's the wrong side. Don't do that. But he is going to switch over to the other side and put the mirror window on. We'll also see Akash and CCTV presence, I would expect. They won't want to give those windows up too easily.
Alamal's quite a lovable character. I imagine everyone's heard the story. If not, you're about to hear it again. The other day, Citizen was in a 1 versus 2, and he gets the first kill, and Alamal thinks they've won the round. He just goes, nice, 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 and someone had called out where Eclipse was. And Eclipse won the 1v1, obviously, because Citizen didn't hear the call, because Alamal was screaming down comms. It's just one of those, bless him. Always smiling. Look at him even now.
He is. He's always a positive character. Round number 8 is underway then. 30 seconds in, and Liquid, they're still doing their due diligence. They're on the drones, and they're just checking out what is going on ahead of them. PSK looking to get in and get that garage wall open quite quickly from Catwalk, just to prevent any presence inside a CCTV, move any aggressive defenders back into cash, and then they can start pushing forward from there. Alamo holding a key position here at the top of red stairs. He's got the shield, he's got 2 ADSs. He needs to hold on to this for as long as possible, but he's dipped away for the time being, and that's it, forced out. He had Ness pushing him from the bottom of the stairs, and Liquid have dealt with that so rapidly.
I will also give a nod towards Alamo. Knowing when to leave here is always the hardest thing, because as soon as you lose control of Catwalk, they have a line straight onto Cash Door. You want to retreat through there, you'll get cut down. We've seen it happen so many times in EUL, where they'll have 2, maybe 3 players out on the roam, and 2 will try and run through the door, only to get sprayed down by the man that's holding that long angle. It's a really dicey extended hold that's kind of built around that single point of like exit. You can try and go down red stairs, but you don't know what's down there. You don't know if someone's inside a storage or holding front door. You are very much pincered in. So for many, it's kind of a stay and fight for your life, but at least on G2's side, Alamo has got out in one piece.
Just opening up those vertices. It's going to drop away, actually, all the way down into basement here. And
the rats, here we go.
This is it. If Team Liquid don't pick this up, it could be a real round ender for them. I think that's what G2 may just be looking for, is trying to get themselves an opportunity to be able to push themselves up from the basement, hit the flank, and just really do Liquid some damage. They're not always doing the best when they're on defense of meeting Liquid head-to-head. Liquid tending to come out on top in those situations. So G2 maybe just trying to work an alternative.
I would love to see Citizen get underneath here with that C4 in back pocket. We know that he's in the basement. He can threaten inside a kitchen, but no doubt the calls must be coming in that, hey, they're downstairs, they're threatening me. Citizen, where are you? Where's that C4 in back pocket? Nesk quite smartly dipping out here and keeping himself safe. And Citizen is waiting for the hatch. Now working his way back up. Resets and Doki exchanging blows, both down to about 10 HP.
He's going to hold on for as long as possible, but that won't be very long at all as Resets gets the first kill of the round, but that is 2 minutes 40 gone. Ask manages to find Citizen. There will be no flank. Alamo manages to get the kill onto Ask. Parley looking to push up those main stairs. G2 just trying to hold on. That's Reset's gone. Prano, PSK managing to find Virtue. This is going to be a race against the clock for Team Liquid 2v2. G2 holding on right now. Alamo finds a big kill, and there goes Prano, and there goes G2. It is now 5-3 inside a clubhouse, and G2 are just edging closer and closer to map 3.
Prano and Alamo take a bow. A 2 versus 4 being pulled back from what felt like the brink. All starting here as well. Just good awareness, because once we saw Palu charge up those main stairs, run through the smoke. We've seen that a couple of times so far this major, Tim. You know, teams are very happy now to just say, look, they think it's safe, but it's not a thick brick wall, it's gas we can run through. Very fortunate that G2 reacted in time. They move up to 5-3. And now, Tim, we go towards one of my favorite sites to watch in the game. It's Bar and Stage.
Bar and Stage, the first time that we saw this competitively, I think it's worth noting, is it was from Doki. Back when he was on Na'Vi, they were the first team to pick it up and take it competitively when it was reworked, and they did a fantastic job of it. Doki, I think on the day, was playing down in the basement. He had the basement roll and hit the nitro up through the hatch when the plant tried to go down on Bar. So I'm sure that he will have brought with him a very good understanding of just how this site works and how to defend it. You're going to see G2 trying to really hold on to that top floor, there's going to be some very key gunfights up there, particularly around cash and construction. If Team Liquid can get in and get themselves established in there, it gives them a lot of opportunity to move into sight onto the stage through the double door and to get that diffuser down and active.
Hear that thud of the shotgun around the whole arena. Every
It's great, isn't it?
Doosh, 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 doosh.
It's fantastic.
It is great.
The thing is, like, we've done sort of venues before, but the sound system's never been as big because it hasn't needed to be because there hasn't been an audience. But this time, we've got you guys to thank for being able to feel the shotguns and everything else throughout the arena. It's great.
Every time I'm just like, ugh.
It's fantastic.
Shaky feet, shaky feet. IQ finally being brought along, by the way. We spoke about G2 running a lot of Valkyrie back on Theme Park. Liquid did not take the bait, never moved away to bringing along the IQ. But as soon as the Yokais get added in, clearly saying and acknowledging, right, okay, boys, fair play. We need the IQ. We need to get rid of those cameras. We don't want to be disrupted on the roam or so much on the site once we start moving in.
Alamo in this same position again at the top of red stairs. He's going to be trying to hold off. Last time Nesk was able to move underneath, but Nesk this time is off at the far side of the map. He's got work to do elsewhere, so Alamo has been able to hold on for a lot longer here. And as I said, the key gunfights are potentially going to come around cash because they need to get construction. The hatch will be open, and that gives the defenders the opportunity to deny any plant. So that is a real battleground here. Team Liquid, the drones are going in, still not confident about exactly who is where and whether they are free to move in yet.
Still having a massive fight here over the east side of the map. It's not amazing for Liquid. Bearing in mind, again, this is a bar stage setup. You need to get control of gym bedroom, so you've got the verticals, but it's taken them 90 seconds just to get any kind of control inside of Cash and CC. Not the most ideal start, and this could literally be what sees them not winning the round, Tim.
I think the problem for G2 here, or a potential problem, is that they have been pushed back out of construction, I think. So whilst Team Liquid haven't even had anybody established in CCTV and Cash, G2 have given up that ground and they've moved away from construction rather than keeping themselves in there to burn a little bit more time. But it's always that dangerous dance between burning time and saving lives. And right now, G2 have decided on the latter, but they know that Alamo is there. Team Liquid have got him pinned. They know he's looking for that flank up blue stairs. Alamo, I think it's time to maybe drop away. You're likely to lose your life rather than get a successful flank.
At this point, though, you're just wasting their time even further. Ness putting all of his focus downstairs means Alamar can just keep on running around. I think he was trying to play the thing we spoke about, right? Doki's style of denial with that C4 coming up through the hatch. He still has control of basement. Nesk has no support in clearing it out, so Ass has got to come through. A great pull down onto the head of Virtue. Palu gets his first kill of the map, and never thought I'd be saying that in round 9. Doki comes in for the trade as well. Alamar, oh, a shot through the stop ball, finds the man, resets, an instant response coming in. Prano on about 5 HP. I don't think he's got any Yokais, Tim. I lie, he's on the Yokais here. They've also got the vertical. One blast coming in. Can they get rid of the drone in time? Doki gets another. Can they hold on here? Prano gets it on again. G2 hold on. The Yokais doing the work for them. And they get another round from the jaws of defeat.
A lot of excitement on the side of G2 there, and a little bit of relief. A little bit of relief too, I would imagine. Had everybody here hanging on the edge of their seats as to whether those Yokai drones could survive, whether they could hold on, and whether they could deny that plant. Team Liquid just having to go back to the drawing board a little bit here, struggling to get anything going on the attack. And G2, it was close, but they held on to bar.
Prano as well, a slither of HP, literally with 1 HP on the Yokais.
1 HP in a dream.
Oh, isn't it just? We spoke about it at the round start with the IQ being brought in as well. Valkyrie and the Echo, just too much as a combo. You need to get rid of them. And I spoke about that 100 seconds being burnt around Cash and CC would just mean they were going to be time start in the late round. And that's exactly what you saw.
Church and Arsenal it will be for the potential final round of Clubhouse here as G2, they just need one more to take us all the way to Cafe, all the way to that decider, and all the way to, I'm sure, what will be a thriller between these two teams.
Give me it all. I'm a best of 5 at this point, Tim. Take me all the way through.
I can watch these two all day with the way that they've been playing, but I'm just going to put it out there. Imagine if we start getting towards round 12 on map 3, that is going to be one hell of a finish to this first quarterfinal.
So you and I got to cast Damwon Kia versus FaZe back in Sweden. That came down to a 1v1 round 15, map 3. It was ludicrous. Your voice was gone. I was a puddle mess on the floor. It's one of those, and I'm really hoping we get that out of this as well. The teams hate it, but we all absolutely love it.
That's what we're here for. Virtue up on that top floor there. He's going to be trying to waste time. He's inside of Jim at the moment, and he's got his rotation through, so he can move around quite freely here. The east wall is going to be breached, and the top floor clearance will start to come in from Team Liquid, but I'm going to guess that Virtue's probably got that hatch open as well that will allow him to drop to billiards. There goes Dorky, almost finding net. A long-range angle there, just through the top floor, but he's been shut down, and that's a great play from Team Liquid, using that information, getting in and taking down the Malusi.
Absolutely. They had a three-way pincer as well, right up through the garage door. That's a wonderful, sorry, garage wall, sorry. That's where you can see why you open up that lower wall. You get a wonderful angle onto catwalk. They had the breach open as well, and all it needed was a third man to swing in from garage. Wonderful bit of team play coming out of Liquid.
It was fantastic, Virtue. He's going to just scurry away there and get himself hidden inside of logistics for the time being. And once again, it's this process of trying to get drones through, trying to clear out. Is Virtue that guy? I think there's... I think he's not. I think he might not be that guy.
No, resets, creeping in. They got the ping in, sees the foot. Everyone loves a toe snap. In it comes and down goes Virtue. 5v3.
He was not that guy.
He was not that guy, Tim.
5v3.
I'm never that guy in ranked either. No, I can't do that.
I'm that guy. That's exactly what happens to me. 5 versus 3 now. Team Liquid have got control of the top floor. They've got themselves a man advantage, and they are looking like they're sitting pretty here inside of round number 10. It's going to be down to G2 to hold on, but Des, we've seen them do it. We've seen them be able to win these rounds from a disadvantage, but there's also time on the side of Team Liquid here. They've still got a minute to continue working, to continue softening up these defenders.
They've got a yellow ping. They know the drop's coming through. When does the C4 come out is the next question. The drop's still not yet in. The call will come through from the Valkyrie cam. C4 over, almost a double, but finds one. It's back to a 3 versus 3. Can G2 pull it out here and now, or can Liquid hold on?
Diffuser is down on the ground. Resets is looking to make his move from blue. He's going to take a little bit of damage. Alamo gets another onto Parlu, and this is now going in the favour of G2. Toxic Babe canisters burning more time. 25 seconds left to go, and they just need to hold on, Des. They just need to hold on to take us to a map 3 Prano. He's got himself tight against the wall inside of Church. But there goes Resets. He finds one. He's got an opportunity to put this down. It's all up to the cover from Nesk. If anybody can do it, you know he can. He's going to find Prano. It's 2v1. All of a sudden, Alamo with Diffuser planted has to find 2 kills. Can he do it? He gets one. Surely he doesn't get the second. He switches to shotgun. No! Resets is able to find the kill. And that's going to be Team Liquid taking us to another round on Clubhouse.
You just saw the story being written there. The Brazilian bringing down Team Liquid would have been a wonderful end to Clubhouse, but they hold on at least for another round. 6-4, and what a round that was as well. The Valkyrie cameras really showing again why you should be bringing the IQ in these kind of situations, because Citizen almost found a wonderful 2K with that C4, and imagine if he'd found Resets inside of blue. An extra half a second later, Resets goes down. That 4K never happens.
Absolutely not. Resets just coming up absolutely huge when Liquid needed him then. But you got to give a little shout to Nesk on the cover as well. Great play to get that kill onto Prano and just allow Resets to complete that plant and get the diffuser down, because without that, the round maybe looks a little bit different. But what a performance from Team Liquid we're having here to hold on. They don't want to go to 3. They want to get this done here and now. They want their spot in the semi-final. I thought, Des, my heart was racing when I walked in here this morning. It is absolutely nothing compared to what it's doing now.
I can't wait to check my heart rate later and see what's been going on, because that round there...
There'll definitely be a spike around round 10.
One worth checking back for sure. Let's see then how this setup goes inside of gym and bedroom. Now, as a reminder, Liquid, it took about 100 seconds to burn through this extended hold last time around, and it wasn't pretty. They ran out of time trying to push into bar and stage. This isn't the same site, but it's still the same amount of ground that you need to cover in order to get anywhere near gym and bedroom in the first place. So much so that G2 have committed 3 members out towards this hold. Everything will make or break on 1, whether or not G2 can get away from this with all 3 still alive, or 2, if Liquid can break it in good time.
I say, Team Liquid just needing to speed things up a little bit here on the east side of Take, get everybody moved, and then they've got a little bit more time to put that pressure onto site. Alamo at the top of red stairs again. He was on the mirror last time around, but this time he's going to be on the Aruna. He's got a laser gate in front of him as well. That's just going to try to keep him safe and just burn more of those throwables. ADSs, laser gates, everything, just trying to keep him in position. But last time around, Liquid just circumvented it, and they sent Ness up red stairs, and it meant that he was pushed away. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case immediately.
Absolutely, still holding Tim. We're about that 60-second mark now, and they haven't really made amazing progress. They've started to move their way forwards, but I think it's about time those grenades start singing or the impact start coming out. Alamal being concussed, but still able to hold firm for now. The laser gate being gone. The Bolt comes over. Does Alamal know? I think the concussion will have blocked the sound from him. He doesn't know that Asta's coming in for a swing. Up they come up red. Virtue gets the trade back, but it's still not looking good. Doki coming up from the basement as well, lurking out like a rat. But Palu, he is the rat trap, and down goes Doki.
Snap shut on the head of Doki as he finds that kill, and that's Team Liquid now 4 versus 2, and they are finding some real momentum here. Virtue, Prano, we've seen them do it before, and they're going to have to step up and do it again if they want to take this map here and now for G2. 2v4 and an absolute age of time working against them. This is not going to be easy for the G2 pair to hold on. Liquid just taking a little bit of a pause here. They're on the drones, just letting that pressure rise. There's no rush for Team Liquid.
There isn't, no. They've got the Ying, they've got the Candelas for days, Tim. There are still 3 smokes in Prano's back pocket, so the further this time runs away from them, the more it can start to sting a little bit here. Impact immediately coming out. Virtue contemplating a swing here. Just a wonderful Hibana-sized hole being opened up on this wall now. And I think Virtue knows someone's coming. Just a question of when it's going to swing. Oh! Good night, PSK. Sit down.
Great kill from Virtue. Palu manages to find Prano. 1v3 now. Virtue, he has the outer, but he does not have the kills. As Reset's able to close that round out, and that's going to be Team Liquid now, taking us all the way to 12, Des.
They've pulled 2 back, but this does mean now G2 have the full range of choice of where they want to play this next round. Do we see a repeat down to Church and Arsenal, or do we step in towards Bar and Stage? You know, the last 3 times now we've seen Church and Arsenal, Liquid have won. One of those on attack, 2 on defense, and by the looks of it, G2 do want to go down into the basement, but understandably, once again, the same as they did in the very last round of the last map, this is where they call their tactical timeout and have a bit of a chat.
Well, we are on the cusp, Des. As you say, coming into the tactical timeout, this could well be going the full distance here. I want to prime everybody that if we do get to that point and Liquid are winning the round, we want a little bit of participation. The line will be, we go into overtime, Des. I'll count you in if I'm going to do it.
I'll count, you say.
Yeah, and then everybody can get involved, and we'll have everybody get involved in announcing.
It's like what happens if there's like 2,000
It's going to be the ultimate. It's going to be the ultimate. We're going to overtime. That's what I'm planning. That's what I want.
And what you guys don't know, that'll be his ringtone afterwards as well.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt.
Just clip. Honestly, I can only imagine your phone going off and just being like, "We're going to overtime, Des," and I'll be like,
with everybody here in the background as well involved.
Phenomenal. So you've got a chance to be Tim's ringtone, basically. So let's go for that.
There we go. 6-5 it is to G2 as we head into round 12. They're going down to Church and Arsenal, and G2 desperately going to want to close this one out. They do not want to face any overtime. And just to add a little bit of spice, there's a little bit of tension. We're going to get a rehost as well that's just going to extend that tactical timeout pause by a little bit longer with the following technical pause.
Well, we know where we're heading at least, though, Tim, and we know roughly what lineups we've seen just come through there for a second as well. I think, if nothing else, it gives G2 that extra little bit of extension time here to figure out what have they got to do to get this over the finish line, because you know full well if they're going into overtime, they're sweating. Because you find Liquid get to pick what side of the map they start on, for one, but also the fact that you've lost 3 rounds on the bounce. You start to sweat, things start to not go as well, communication dries up, and that's when Liquid could 2-0 this after what, you know, probably 2 rounds ago, looked like a 7-3 victory to G2. It looked like they were about to take it over. The teams would have stomped each other on their respective map picks, and then Cafe would be the ultimate decider. Please, Liquid, please, don't take that away from us. We want that 3rd map.
Team Liquid do not, Des. Team Liquid just want to get the job done. They want to move on to the semi-finals. That is, of course, the prize that awaits the winner here is that semi-final spot. It's one of the last 4 teams then at the Charlotte Major, and they'll be waiting to see what happens in the DarkZero game to see who they will be facing up against, DarkZero or Team 1. Of course, the winner of this will be waiting for. I'm so excited for the next 3 games across the day as well. I just know that it is going to continue at this sort of tempo, this sort of heat. is just going to be absolutely ingrained
Speaking of heat,
every single one.
How hot is it?
It is warm today. We've got a lot of people in this room.
I guarantee you, everyone here is like, what are you idiots talking about? In the UK, we kind of, if we're lucky, we get over 20 degrees.
Yeah, that's a hot
I'll tell you what, I
summer's
can't
day.
even I think this works at about 70 Fahrenheit. Like, we don't get much higher than that.
I can't do the maths on. It's a
I'm
weird
going by what
conversion
my
because
AC
it's not.
says in my room.
Yeah, it's a weird conversion because it's not sort of
No, it's not a direct
straightforward.
one.
But yeah, it's very warm for us here in Charlotte.
for a
Very
walk.
humid as well. It's very. You walk outside, you feel like you could chew on the air. It's like really, really thick.
You fancy a midday snack, Tim?
Yeah.
Just bite the sun.
It's very, very
That's
thick
another
and
classic
humid,
Tim
isn't it?
sound effect then. Love it. It has been very, very warm. And
Whoever
it is a
thought
little
that
bit
I'd be
today.
making sound effects ringing out
Well,
around an
we
arena
have, we've had the
full of
whole
people?
thing before as
I
well.
know, but not in this sort of setting, Des.
Not on a stage, no.
Not in this sort of
No,
environment.
that's very true, very true.
We're getting everybody loaded back in. We've almost got there.
8
We've
out of 10.
just got a couple left to go. As soon as we've got everybody ready to go and primed, we'll get back into this one. It is Clubhouse. It is 6-5 to G2. If you're just joining us, this is the second map of the first quarter-final here at the Charlotte Major. G2 losing out on their choice, which was Theme Park in map number 1. Team Liquid able to take that. If you look up at the top of your screen, you'll be able to see what's going on with the maps there. We've got a wonderful overlay from our even more wonderful production team. They'll keep that updated, and we can see exactly where we're up to and where we're going to go, which will be Cafe if G2 get this round done.
Yeah, sometimes I turn around and look at this big pillar and just think, climbing wall.
You fancy getting yourself up there, Des?
No.
I think everybody would cheer you on,
They'd be cheering a lot when I fell.
which would be inevitable.
And then I get up and I'm okay, and they're like, oh. And no one cheered. We'll see, though. It is a climb still for G2 in round 12. I know we're getting back into it in just a second, guys. We are all in the server, so things should be back underway very, very shortly. And when we are, we get to see this epic conclusion of this tale for G2. Do they take it to map 3, or do they not?
We're going to find out. I love what we've seen so far from G2. If we bring it back to the game a little bit, G2, particularly on their attacking half, really look like a cohesive team unit. They have on the defensive well. They've been able to cover for each other, but they're just lacking a little bit in the trades at the minute for me. We're seeing G2 quite often Liquid get in, and it's 4 versus 3, 4 versus 2, and the kills just rain in and sort of domino, and G2 are unable to really halt them or to get them trades where they were absolutely fantastic on the attack at doing things at the same time, pushing and attacking. Prano's just telling us in the old chat, casters start
Do you
the
want
game,
to press
please.
the button, mate?
I'll press the button, and we can get back into this.
In we go once more then. Let's see how things shake up for G2. This is your last chance saloon. Well, it's not, because you got overtime. But you just know if you go in there, Liquid are carrying that momentum after 3 straight round wins. They've had a bit of time to chat. It is going to be a repeat of Church, Arsenal. You cannot change the site once we've already gone in once. And in terms of the lineup, Tim, this is where I'm expecting a little bit of spice here, especially on the attacking side. We've seen Liquid roll out with that Capitao already. We saw it inside of Blue when C4 tossed in that fateful C4 that didn't connect onto resets that led to him getting a 4K. Just small things like that. The reliance on the smoke, it isn't always everything it's cracked up to be.
Absolutely not. So we're going to be getting into things now. The lobby is complete. The players have chosen their operators. The site is locked. And we go into round number 12. It could be the last that we see on Clubhouse or Des. It could be just the beginning as we may well head to 3 more. Church and Arsenal will be the last stand for G2 here as they try to hold on. We last saw them defend it back in round 10. It was very close. It came down to a 2v2 at the end. Resets able to get the plant, and then the final 1v1 Alamo versus Nest, but Liquid, they were able to get the win. Can they do it again?
I've got to ask the question now because any of the time would be highly inappropriate. Is it Des we're going to overtime, or we're going to overtime Des?
We're going to overtime Des.
I'm at the end. Got it.
Yes.
Just so I understand.
That's the
And
line.
they understand.
That's the line.
You can say it at home if you want.
I hope everybody does. I have absolutely total faith in this audience to get that right.
We shall see. Time will tell. Right, downstairs in the basement is most of G2. Citizen running upstairs to kick things off. Those cameras, all but one, currently out scattered around the map. And the Easter egg hunt begins for the side of Liquid, who want to be dealing with those. Now, the one that you just saw him tossing behind the main stairs, sort of like light that's on the wall, I think we've seen that come from Kayak back when he used to be on G2. They'd always be putting them on those main stairs, like behind the lights. And hopefully Liquid get a read into that.
Nesk's just going to hold the angle onto the window there. He doesn't want any early aggression coming out of G2. It's one of those positions where, you know, maybe you roll the dice, maybe you give it a go, but I think G2, they're going to be too cautious for that. Resets is moving quite quickly across that top floor there. He's going to be supported by Palu and Nesk very, very soon, I think, but he's continuing to try and hunt down these roamers, but for the time being, he's not going to find anybody because G2 look like they've dipped away under the pressure.
Yep. No mute and no Mozzie on side as well means that really this should be a pretty rapid clear for Liquid. A drone can just roll straight through the top floor, but just to be safe, you've already been stung by Doki on the Vigil. Thinking about it back on Theme Park, you want to make sure you are checking every single corner and not just walking into your demise as you assume that top floor is clear. But with that done, we are halfway into the round. It's about this point when we saw G2 start swinging the hammer on the attack inside, or the book getting to work, and they're going to start exactly the same here once again. So half the round still to go, Tim, and they've just started their setup.
Mentally, this must be very tough for G2. They know that they need this round. All 5 of them down inside us, and all they can do is sit and wait at this point. They know that Team Liquid have got an age to work around them, to soften up those defenses, and it gets closer and closer to them. They start hearing the hatches being opened. They start having the ceiling disappearing from above their heads, and they know that that decision point is coming in the very near future. We're heading in towards the final minute. Liquid have done a lot of their preparation. They've got hatches open. They've got the angles that they want. They're doing that final droning phase to make sure they know exactly what the G2 defense looks like, and then will come the final push.
They've got the ADS as well, just down by this vending machine to the south. That covers the shield that Virtue's got on the other side of him, but Resets is working his way forward. Does anyone know? Will anyone swing? Ness in with the entry. What a flick from Resets! Finds Virtue, but Alamau did trade one back. It's not all over for G2 yet, but it's not looking amazing, Tim.
Doki just going to hold his angle onto blue there. Nade comes in, might just force him back. No, he stays there. Ask, he manages to get one. Citizen trades it out. G2 holding on to just the slimmest of threads right now as they try to keep themselves in this one, try to keep themselves with the map. But Palu, he's getting the plant down. The cover is there from PSK on the main door. Resets on blue. They're trying to keep him off, and Palu is able to successfully get it. But Doki, he gets one. It's now a 2v2. Citizen, he gets Palu, and this could be it from G2. They need to get this final kill. It's all up to PSK. He's got the vertical. How many times have we seen him win these positions? He gets one. It's now a 1v1. Citizen, he has to deal with PSK.
Why would you try and fight him? You can sit that behind the wall and force him to drop down on you. C4 comes out, hoping he'll shoot it away. Oh, Citizen tries, but PSK, the 1v2 comes out. Tim,
3,
coming to that
2,
time.
1. We're going to overtime, Des. This is going all the way. We are going to see Team Liquid versus G2 on Clubhouse get to the very end. Every single round is what we want.
Hindsight is always 20/20, Tim, but I don't understand why you want to challenge that angle. You can defuse from behind the wall without him having the access to you. He's forced to drop. Stick a man on main stairs, just watch towards the hatch, and you get the kill as he drops through. Potentially another last round slip-up coming out of G2 there that forces this game onwards, and again, that will be the moment they rue if this map goes to Liquid.
It certainly will be. We're going to be going down to Church and Arsenal as the first defensive site for Team Liquid. And there we are, the G2 fans turning up, and that is what they need. They need you guys to get even louder for them because they need every bit of support they can get on every single kill here, because right now, Team Liquid have the momentum. Team Liquid are in the driving seat as far as this one is concerned, but Team Liquid have gone back to Church and Arsenal, a site that they struggled with. They lost it twice, Des.
But Tim, they've won it 4 times in a row since then. 1 on defense, 3 times on the attack. They're feeling it, trust me.
They're going to have to feel it here in round number 13 as the top floor defense will be evident as Nesk is up there on the Malusi. He's going to be trying to waste as much time. Can G2 complete that clearance as quickly and efficiently as Team Liquid did?
You'd hope so. I mean, at this point, you're pushing your way through. You've got a Vigil, you've got a Mute to deal with. There are some tools to impede you here. No Mozzie, so it's not as tragic as it could have been.
That's currently holding out inside a strip as well, working his way back through, but I thought he might just try and rat himself out here a little bit and try and cause some damage later into the round. It's only 40 seconds in, mind you, so at this point, a lot of freedom to move around. Nesk sat inside a bedroom, and I think G2 are aware that he is present. They've got the breach opened up and basically are, for the most part, ignoring the east side of the map entirely. All their focus going directly onto Gym Bedroom, where you've got 3 members of Liquid ready to greet you.
That's it. Liquid really committed to this top floor and burning as much time. And basically, I think that's just recognising where G2's weakness was on attack, and it was playing against the clock. As you can see, they've really gambled on this. Doke, he's got himself established inside a gym. If the first couple of kills can go to G2, it could be big, but no. Nesk able to shut down Doke, but Citizen at the same time manages to find that nade kill onto Parlu. 4 versus 4.
Probably some questions to ask around why you'd even try and swing that hole without ADS on the go. You knew he was about 10 meters away. You had red pings coming through, but Doki pays with it with his life. Nesk, a wonderful shot back on the other side. Tim, again, the thing is, this is all around the top floor. This is nothing to do with the site itself. G2 have been impeded on this downstairs attack for the first time.
Resets. He's still able to play around cache and CCTV for the time being. Chooses not to take the drone down. Just going to leave that in place, wanting to maybe keep himself a little bit undercover there, a little bit anonymous maybe, hoping that he hasn't been spotted out. Alamai Virtue, G2 just seem to have lost a little bit of direction here, Des. We've got a minute left to go. They haven't really even started working on the on-site defences at the minute. There are 3 members of Liquid away from site, but with the main stairs still available, they could work their way down. Citizen catches Nesk on a hop over, but Ask is there for the immediate trade, and that is something that Liquid have done so well so far, is to keep that man count level.
Well, you stripped away Citizen, who's on 4 and 2 since the rehost. They're also playing the Ana and the Finker, 2 big operators with 2 big guns to go pushing in. So instead, this comes down to the backline. It's Prano and Virtue joined by Alamau to try and bring this round over the finish line. But there's still 2 C4s in the back pocket of Liquid, Tim. Those could be the round maker for Liquid. There we go.
It finds the kill with the first. That's going to be Prano taken down. 15 seconds left to go. And this is real bite the bullet stuff for G2 now. They just have to take the drop. Virtue gets 1, but Ask manages to find Alamau. 7 seconds left to go. 2 kills to find, but no! Ask is able to find the final kill. And Team Liquid, they have themselves a series point opportunity.
Round 14. It's 4 in a row now for Liquid is the issue, Tim. I said about it before we came into overtime. 3 on the bounce against G2. You're starting to forget what winning feels like, and it showed in that round a bit. Running out of time. Too much time being invested in the roam clear. Liquid 1 round away from booking their spot in tomorrow's semi-finals.
The G2 fans doing everything they can to hype up their team here. We've got flags waving, we've got chants going. And they need every bit of that support, because it is now or never at the Charlotte Major for G2. This is the decisive round, or the first of 2 potentially decisive rounds for them, as they have to hold on. They find themselves now on the defence, and they choose their last standers to be CCTV and cache.
One of those, again, I referred to it earlier, it's one of those go-to sites in Siege, one of the most recognisable for the side of Liquid. No doubt that focus should be East Breach open, then either focus on Garage or again coming in from construction. We saw a little bit of difference in the second half of the game though, where we did have Liquid come bursting their way up red stairs and really did a lot of damage from that spot. It was against the extended hold, but they showed they could play from below. And equally, G2 are going pretty hard on their lounge hold downstairs, reinforcing off Garage. Castle barricades being scattered around as well. This screams to me, no doubt you're going to see C4s being played in from below. Alamau could employ the shield on the downstairs, more likely to maybe see it on red. In fact, there's already one there. So yeah, I think that shield should go on the downstairs.
I love what I'm seeing from both of these teams in the overtime, Des. It's almost like we've got 2 brand new teams playing. They've come in and they've just done like completely different strats to what we've seen through the regulation time. Liquid, first of all, with 4 men on top floor for a Church and Arsenal defence. Now we've got the lounge hold coming out from G2. It's like they're really just throwing everything at the wall here. They're just really trying to do something, anything that can take them over the line. We're going to have a player drop, so we'll have a quick rehost, Des. That'll be a new setup for G2, I would imagine.
It's that kind of question you have to ask yourself now. Obviously, they've seen what the setup is. They've had a chance to drone it out. For now, at least we'll play on as we go. See how things play.
Obviously, it's because we're so far into the game. Obviously, we'll see what the call is. But for the time being, we continue. And Alamo is going to be playing up at the top of red stairs, just trying to hold on. He's going to be supporting Citizen, and Citizen will be supporting him. They're going to be working as a pair together to try and keep everybody outside of the lounge area, keep that locked down.
Absolutely, they will. Still holding around red here as well. Main breach being opened up. Should keep things going now, but in comes the Terror as well, and it connects. That's going to be the ADS is going. The one still sat on the backside here towards the stairs itself will stay intact, but it's all about G2 holding off this breach. They've got to stop this onslaught coming in, but no doubt you'll see members of Liquid start to rotate away as well.
That's it, Alamo now just trying to hold on to that line of sight for as long as possible, and the Rotero's going to open up the line of sight from Jim, so the pressure is going to start to mount on Doki inside of construction. But exactly, G2 just really spread out here. It's allowed Liquid to get themselves inside of Garage. They've got the catwalk, they've got the East Breach Des, they've got everything they need to put a diffuser down.
I'm really confused what G2 are doing. They're so far offside and they're going in for a plan. What is going on, G2? You're in a 5 versus 4 and it's all crumbling around you. 2 massive kills for Nest fly through, and they might have just done enough here, Liquid, despite the numbers disadvantage, to crush G2 in what will prove to be the last round. Nest, a massive 3K. Virtue got it all to do with 30 seconds on the clock and 3 members left alive. We all know what these situations can be like. Nigh on impossible, Tim.
It's not going to be easy. Virtue just trying to seek out anything he can get. He needs about 7 seconds to disable that diffuser, but he won't even get the opportunity as Ash manages to find that final kill. And Team Liquid are your first confirmed semi-finalists here at the Siege Major in Charlotte.
And of course, in that very last round, Nest could be the one finding a 3K and dashing G2 dreams all over the floor. We saw some promise in those first 10 rounds on this map. Tim really thought we'd be seeing a third, but Liquid, just too much for G2 to manage.
It was. The fight back from them was unbelievable, and then the final round there, they were able to come back from a 4v5 to get the job done. No matter what was placed in front of them, Team Liquid had the answers, and they are the ones who take the prize and move on to tomorrow.
Well, 5 rounds in a row as well.
Yeah.
Again, that momentum just builds and builds, and it can be so difficult to shut the other side down. But all is fair in love and war, and for these boys on stage, obviously, saying well played to each other is critical to the sportsmanship that we embrace here at or in Rainbow Six Siege.
Absolutely. There's going to be celebrations, I think, on the side of Team Liquid afterwards. They're going to be very happy with their progress coming in here as tournament favourites, or one of them at least, to see them through to the Final Four. All smiles there. No surprises whatsoever as they continue that journey towards a potential first major.
Oh, what a first quarter we've had, Tim. It might not have been all 3 maps, but you've seen